the session. In this session, we'll discuss about how to reduce, reuse and recycle the waste generated. In today's modern world, the waste has become an environment and public health hazard because waste is spilled all over the surroundings. And waste, it can be effectively managed by following three strategies. 1. Reducing the waste. Second, reusing the waste, and finally, recycling the waste. So let's see how to reduce the waste. The waste can be reduced by making use of some process like change of process, waste concentration and segregation of waste. By changing a modern method and to make the best use of raw materials, it reduces the waste generation in industries. In zinc, electroplating chlorides are used in the process instead of using sulfate salt in order to eliminate the production of cyanides. Waste concentration. By using scientific techniques like precipitation and evaporation, we can reduce the amount of liquid waste. And we can also use incineration to get rid of inflammable waste. Segregation of waste. Initially, non-hazardous waste are to be separated from the hazardous waste rather dumping them together. So, when we treat the small amount of hazardous waste, we can dispose of a large amount of non-hazardous waste in a traditional ways. Reusing the waste. So, in our houses and in industries, many waste materials are being discarded and they have some amount of value. For example, glass, metal pieces, rubber, wood fiber and paper products. All these materials have some value. So, in developing countries like India, some of the waste materials like old glass bottles, steel tires, tin cans are being reused. For example, shoes or chappals are made from old tires. Here the old tire is being reused. Water bags are made from leather. Lamps are made from tin cans. Similarly, many things are being reused. Waste collectors, they collect the waste from residential areas and industrial units and they segregate the waste and supply to specialized artisans. These artisans make use of that waste products. For example, a beautiful garden that has been created by Nekchan in Chandigarh using all the waste products like tin cans, bottles, broken pieces of crockery, etc. Some solid waste produced by the industries, it can be utilized directly. Like fly ash from power plants, it is used as a cement substitute. Bricks are made from fly ash. So fly ash is also used in making of the roads and filling up of low-lying areas. Recycling of waste. In spite of reusing the materials by using physical process, we can also recycle them by treating the waste before it is being used in the manufacturing process. We have lot of bagasse from sugarcane during a particular season and this bagasse, it can be used in the manufacturing of paper pulp. Using this bagasse, it will save trees which are normally used for making paper pulp. This bagasse, it is also used in making packaging material of dairy products and eggs. Paper industries, they recycle wood, cloth and used paper. Plastic is a non-biodegradable substance and the bonds of carbon in plastic, they are impossible to break down through a physical or chemical process and they have to be incinerated, recycled or buried in the landfills. Even though if the plastic are buried in the landfills, they take millions of years to get degraded. The plastic bags which are used widely in India, they are made from recycled plastic and that recycled plastic are also harmful because the melting of plastic and plastic products, it breaks some polymer chains into smaller units and which are very harmful to the environment as well as the living beings. Let's consider an example of paper. The paper industries, it segregates waste paper from the already existing waste. Waste paper, it has grit, sand, ink, tar, paper clips, plastic coatings, rubber bands, etc. All this waste which are stick to that waste paper are being separated. Most of the used paper, it is recycled into cardboard, paperboard, insulation, paper bags, etc. Recycled paper, it is used for printing only a few times because with each recycle the fibers become weak and the recycled product, it is weaker than similar product made from the fresh fibers. Waste paper, that it is fed into a conveyor belt and that conveyor belt, it feeds the paper to a hydropulper where it is smashed in water at about 38 degrees Celsius. The force in the hydropulper is so great that the sheets of the paper, they are rapidly broken down into a slurry. The fibers in this paper, they are retained and their unacceptable materials are drained off. The pulp of the waste paper, it is passed over a rifle system. It is then fed into another unit for the removal of dirt and tar. The paper slurry is thickened before it is fed into a paperboard machines. So this is how the paper industries work and how they recycle the reused paper. Government initiatives. The central and the state government, they control and develop countries' forests, dams, major irrigation system, power stations, industries, etc. But the government is just a protector of the country's environment and it has also a major responsibility for sustaining environmental conscience. In India, the Ministry of Environment and Forest is a nodal agency for generating environment consciousness and implement scheme for environmental protection. So the government environmental policy, it focuses to check the degradation of land and water through the wasteland management and restoration of river water quality programs. It provides conservation of natural resources by direct action like declaration of reserved forest, biosphere reserves, wetlands, mangroves and protection of endangered species. The policy of the government, it is to monitor development through environmental impact assessment studies of the major project proposals and it also makes laws and acts for the environmental protection and the fine is being imposed against those who violate the laws and act made by the government. The Environment Protection Act 1986, it empowers the central government to coordinate actions of the state government. It plans and executes a nationwide program for the prevention, control and abatement of environmental pollution. This Environment Protection Act, it lays certain standards for the quality of environment in various aspects like emission or discharge of environmental pollutants. So to protect the wildlife, government has set up national parks, sanctuaries, tiger reserves and biosphere reserves. Government has a major role in environment protection and hence it is a duty of the government to find a means of improving the existing technologies and also introduce a new eco-friendly technologies. Eco-friendly technology, it is based on renewable resources as raw materials as well as energy. In India, the concept of cleaner technology, it has been applied in the area of liquid waste management. The technologies for gaseous and solid materials are available with National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, Nagpur, Central Pollution Control Board, New Delhi and Cleaner Technology Center, New Delhi. Developmental projects are taken place in the environment. So minimize those impacts. Environmental impact assessment is carried out before any such projects are being started. Environmental clearance, it is granted to those only after stipulating appropriate environment management plans, and these plans are to be strictly monitored. The government has set up various committees under the charge of experts to evaluate the impact of various projects on the environment. Social initiatives. Environmental protection, it is not only the responsibility of government. All the sections of the societies have to participate in this endeavor. When environment is degraded, it is ultimately the society alone suffers. Therefore, the society has to maintain environmental standards in some of the following ways. If air and water resource in an area it is unfit and it do not meet the acceptable standard, the people of that area, they can organize themselves and force the responsible agencies to take necessary actions. If suitable action is not forthcoming, and then under the laws of the land, they can file a public interest litigation and get their problem solved. Society, it is made of individuals together. Every individual's duty is to take care to not pollute the environment further. Group of individuals together, they can make a huge difference in maintaining environmental standards. Air pollution, especially vehicle pollution, it can be minimized by adopting a carpool method. This will save huge amount of money spent on importing petroleum from the other countries. Society plays a significant role in environmental protection by creating awareness and educating people about the need to conserve and manage the natural resources. Individual initiatives. The role of every individual in environmental protection is very important, because if individual contributes substantially, the effect will be visible not only at the community, city, state or national level, but also at the global level. Every individual should change their lifestyle in order to reduce environmental pollution. It can be done by the following ways. Instead of using a plastic or polythene bags, they can use a cloth bag. Concentrate more on pollution prevention than pollution control. Use eco-friendly products. So cut down the use of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, as they destroy the ozone layer. Do not use polystyrene cups that have chlorofluorocarbon molecules in them, which destroy ozone layer. So instead of using CFCs to clean computer chips and circuit boards, use chemicals derived from peaches and plums. Use CFC-free refrigerators. Save electricity. For example, you can use a warm clothes rather than using room heaters to keep you warm. Adopt and popularize renewable energy sources. Promote the use and recycling method. Use public transport, and for short visits, use bicycles or go on foot. Use rechargeable batteries. Rechargeable batteries will reduce metal pollution. Use low phosphate, phosphate-free or biodegradable dishwashing liquid. Laundry detergent and shampoo. This will reduce eutrophication of water bodies. Use organic manure instead of commercial inorganic fertilizers. Plant more trees, as trees can absorb many toxic gases and can purify the air by releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. So check pollution growth regularly so that the demand of the materials is kept under control. That's all for the session. Thank you.